Good evening and welcome to another installment of WCT on the Air. Produced by the Whittier Community Theater, we bring the entertainment to you, drawing on radio archives for some of the finest scripts of the golden days of radio. Tonight, we present the romantic comedy, The Shop Around the Corner. The firm of Matuchek and Company, Novelties and Leather Goods, has been doing business in the same location for 35 years. It's not a large store, nor is it small. Its merchandise is not cheap, nor is it expensive. This is just an ordinary, everyday shop, and its clerks are ordinary, everyday people. At 8:55 each morning, they stand behind the counters, dusting the goods and gossiping. At 9 sharp, they snap quickly to attention as Mr. Matuchek enters the front door.
Good morning, Mr. Peters.
Good morning, Mr. Matuchek.
Good morning, Miss Baker.
Morning, Miss Matuchek.
Good morning, Mr. Martin.
Morning, sir.
Mr. Martin, I would like to see you in a few minutes on a very important matter.
Yes, sir. Anytime you say.
Well, Martin, you won't be long now.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, I hear you had dinner with Mr. Matuchek and his wife last night.
Oh, that. Yeah.
And this morning, he wants to see you about something important. You'll be the manager pretty soon.
Oh, I don't know.
Hmm.
Say, Peters,
Well,
you want to hear something nice?
huh? You're not a manager yet?
No. It's a letter from a girl.
Oh, a girl.
Yeah, listen to this. Listen. My heart was trembling as I walked into the post office, and there you were, lying in box 237. I took you out of your envelope and read you right there. Oh, my dear friend.
What is all this?
Well, you see, I was looking through the ads in the Sunday paper, and I ran across one that said, here, I'll show you. See?
Modern girl wishes to correspond on cultural subjects anonymously with intelligent, sympathetic young man.
That's me.
Address, dear friend, box 237. Oh, I know those ads. The papers are full of them. How long has this been going on?
Well, we've exchanged 4 letters. And Peters, she's no ordinary girl. Listen, here on page 8, she says, here. Are you tall or short? Are your eyes brown or blue? Don't tell me. What does it matter so long as our minds meet?
Ah, you're right. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. And then she says, there are so many great and beautiful things to discuss in this world of ours. It would be wasting these precious moments if we told each other the vulgar details of how we earn our daily bread. I agree with you when you say, she means me. What are men and women for but to rise above the stupid necessities of the 8-hour day?
Mm-hmm. You said that?
Well, sure. You see,
Martin, I can get 5 dozen more of these cigarette boxes from Nichols Brothers. What do you think of it? I think it's great. You see, you open it up like this.
No, Mr. Matuchek, that's not for us.
Well, you haven't even listened to it. It plays Oshoshonia.
Well, even if it played Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, I'd still say no. I don't like the whole idea.
It's wonderful how quickly you can make up your mind. I've been in this business for 35 years, and it took me a whole hour to decide that I like it. But I guess you're a genius.
I just think it's terrible.
Give me one reason.
All right. Let's say a man smokes 20 cigarettes a day. So he opens the box 20 times, and 20 times he has to listen to Ochichornia. And besides that, it's imitation leather and cheap glue. In 2 weeks, the whole thing will come apart, and all you'll have left is Ochichornia.
I know it. I know it's imitation leather. You don't have to tell me. You just sell things and let me do the buying. Hello, Nichols? This is Matuchek. Cancel the rest of those cigarette boxes. They're terrible.
Well, good morning, madam.
Good morning.
Anything I can do for you? We're having a sale on purses today.
Well, to tell you the truth, I didn't want to buy anything.
Oh, well, that's perfectly all right. If you want to look around, just make yourself at home.
Thank you. I wonder if I could see Mr. Matichek.
Well, Mr. Matuchek is very busy at the moment. If you tell me what you wanted, I'm sure I could take care of you.
Well, I noticed in the window that you're having a summer sale.
Oh, yes, yes, madam. Everything is reduced 25%.
Really? That's wonderful. I guess you'll do big business.
Oh, there's no question about it. Well, we'll probably have such a big rush, we won't be able to take care of all the customers.
Then you ought to have some extra help.
Oh, we probably will.
In that case, maybe you can use me. I'm looking for a job.
You. ah, What's the idea of letting me go through this whole routine, huh?
Oh, well, I'm terribly sorry. I didn't mean to. Do you think you can help me get a job here?
Why, I wish I could, but there isn't a chance.
But you just told me you'd be in need of some extra help because of the rush.
Look around for yourself. You can see what kind of business we're doing. Every half an hour, another customer rushes in.
Well, listen, I've had a lot of experience.
Yeah, but I know the situation here.
I worked for 2 years at Blake and Company, and I left on my own accord. And before that, I was with Blayton Brothers for 10 months.
Now, listen, if it were up to me, I'd put you to work, but I'm not the boss, so.
Then why don't you let me see him?
Because he's in a very bad mood today.
I'll take a chance. Maybe I can cheer him up.
Now, listen, madam, I've been here for 9 years. I know Mr. Machuchek inside and out. I know exactly what his attitude would be. I can tell you word for word exactly what he'd say. Why, he'd
Mr. Martin, come here.
Now you see what you've done.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr. Martin? So, Mr. Martin, you know every reaction of mine, huh? You know exactly what I think even before I think it. You're not only a genius, you are a mind reader.
But Mr. Matuchek.
Never mind now. I'll take care of this customer.
But Mr. Matuchek.
Quiet. Good morning, madam. I'm Mr. Matuchek.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Matuchek.
Please have a seat.
Thank you. Mr. Matuchek, I was at Blake Company for...
I'm sure that you'll find much nicer things in our shop.
No, I mean I worked there. I'm looking for a job.
A job? You mean... Oh, no. That's impossible. It's out of the question. Good day.
Mr. Matuchek?
I have no time. No time. I am very busy.
Mr. Matuchek, please. I've got to have a job. And I'm good. I know merchandise. I really do. Please just give me a chance.
Oh, so you know merchandise. Let me ask you something. Would you buy a box like this? Well?
Well, I couldn't buy anything at the moment.
Oh, no. I just wanted your opinion. Your honest opinion. Do you like it?
Oh, yes, I do. It's marvelous.
Why?
I think it's romantic.
Romantic? What's romantic about it?
Huh? Well, cigarettes and music? I don't know. It makes me think of moonlight and cigarettes and music.
There, Martin. There's the woman's point of view.
But Mr. Matuchek, she doesn't
How
even...
much are you selling it for?
Well, I'd say $4.25.
That's a bargain. That's a real bargain.
Oh, that's a candy box, isn't it?
No, madam. It's
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. That's a candy box. And I would say a very unusual one.
Yes, I like it. How much is it?
Watch, madam. It has a very distinctive feature.
Well,
You see?
is that coming out of this?
Yes, madam, yes. It's Oshishonja, a very popular classic.
Oh, no. Oh, that'll never do. Where do people get ideas like that? Can you imagine? Every time you take a piece of candy, you have to listen to that song? Oh, no.
Oh, no, madam. Wait, please. I know just what you mean, madam. And yet, you see, some of our customers like it for the very thing you object to. Now, there's no denying we all have a weakness for candy. And when I say weakness, I don't mean to say anything against candy. I only mean we're inclined to overdo it a little.
That's true, I suppose.
Now, for instance, madam, have you any idea how many pieces of candy you eat in a day?
Well, no, I never gave it a thought. But I am taking on weight.
That's just it. We pick up a piece of candy absent-mindedly, and then we take another piece, and before we realize it, we've gained a pound or two.
Oh, don't I know it?
Now, you see, this little box makes you candy conscious. That's what Matuchik and Company designed it for. Every time you open it, this little song is a message, do you see? Too much candy, now be careful.
Well, how much is it?
$5.50, reduced from $6.95. It's a real bargain.
I'll take it. You can wrap it up while I look at these purses.
Oh, well, Mr. Matuchek?
What's your name, young lady?
Smith, Karen Smith.
Miss Smith, you may report to work tomorrow morning.
Oh, thank you.
Mr. Martin here will show you the ropes.
Yes, of course.
Or perhaps you can show him.
You're late this morning, Martin.
No, it's only 10 of.
Oh, say, Martin, can you come to the house tonight?
No, I'm sorry, Peters. I have a big dinner date tonight.
Oh, with the boss again?
No. He doesn't invite me anymore. Say, how do you figure him out?
Well, I give up. It's certainly difficult to get along with him these days.
He hardly talks to me anymore.
You know what I think? I think he's having trouble with his wife.
Never mind. Say, we better get this counter dusted before Matuchek gets here.
I'll do it, Martin.
No, we'll both do it. Say, Peters,
Hmm?
you mind if I ask you a personal question?
No, go ahead.
Now, this is very confidential. Peters, suppose a fellow like me wants to get married.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. Who's the girl?
Now, listen, I only said suppose.
Oh,
Now look, how much does it cost you to live? Just you and Mrs. Peters, leaving out the children.
what? Well, why fool yourself?
Well, let's say temporarily. How much does it cost?
Well, it can be done, and very nicely. Naturally, you can't be extravagant.
No. Well, suppose a fellow took a 3-room apartment, kitchen, living room, and bedroom. Where do you eat?
In the kitchen. You get a nice big kitchen.
Well, then where do you entertain?
Entertain? What are you, an ambassador? Listen, if someone is really your friend, he comes after dinner.
Good morning.
Well, good morning, Miss Smith.
Morning.
Morning.
Oh, Miss Smith.
Yes, Mr. Martin?
I noticed you wore a yellow blouse with light green dots yesterday.
As usual, you're mistaken, Mr. Martin. It was a green blouse with light yellow dots, and everybody else thought it was very becoming.
Now, listen.
And I don't remember that I ever remarked on your neckties. And believe me, Mr. Martin, if you think I couldn't say anything about them, just ask Mr. Harvey. So please, leave my blouse alone. It's none of your business.
I'm sorry, but Mr. Matuchek seems to think it is my business.
Oh, yes, that's right. I'm working under you. Well, from now on, Mr. Martin, I'll telephone you every morning and describe just what I'm going to wear. And before I select my next season's wardrobe, my dressmaker will submit samples to you. Oh, imagine you dictating what I should wear.
Now you get this straight. I don't care what you wear. If you want to look like a pony in a circus, all right. But I have troubles of my own without your blouse coming between Mr. Matuchek and me.
Look, I sold as much good yesterday as anybody in this place. $95 isn't bad for a rainy Friday 3 weeks before Christmas. Did you tell that to Mr. Matuchek?
I did.
And what did he say?
He said, tell her not to come in that blouse anymore.
Tell him I won't!
I will. What was I just saying, Peters?
About your girl. Who is she, Martin?
Oh yeah. Remember that girl I was corresponding with?
Oh, yes, about the cultural subjects.
Yeah, well, after a while, we came to the subject of love. Naturally, on a very cultural level.
What else can you do in a letter?
You know, Peters, she's the most marvelous girl in the world.
Is she pretty?
She's got such ideals, Peters. She's so far above the girls you meet today that there's simply no comparison.
I see. She's not pretty.
What's the difference? As a matter of fact, I don't know whether she is or not. You see, I haven't met her yet.
You haven't?
No, I keep on postponing it. I'm scared, Peters. See, this girl thinks I'm the most wonderful person in the world, and well, after all, there's a chance she might be disappointed.
Yes, there is a chance. On the other hand, you might be disappointed too.
Oh, no, I won't. I'm as sure of that as I am of my own name. Peters, I'm meeting her tonight for dinner.
Where?
In a restaurant on 8th Street.
Oh, I suppose you're going to wear a red carnation, huh?
Yes, I am. And she's going to have one as a bookmark in a copy of Tolstoy's Anna Karenina. Gee, you know, well, I haven't slept for days.
What's her name?
I don't even know that. Why just call her Dear Friend or Dear Box 237?
Oh, Dear Box 237. Oh, I'm sure she'll be beautiful.
Well, not too beautiful. What chance would there be for a fellow like me?
What do you want, a homely girl?
No, knock wood. For just a lovely, average girl. That's all I want.
Good morning. I just want to tell you the window looks terrible. There isn't a store on the street that doesn't look better. It's a wonder we get any customers. Everybody will have to stay the night to redecorate.
Oh, no.
Stay tonight of all nights.
There goes your date with Box 237.
Yep.
May I help you, Mr. Martin?
No. Thank you, Miss Smith.
It's no trouble at all. I'd like to. Yesterday, I put all the imported bags on the shelf over there.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the way you wanted it, Mr. Martin?
Yeah.
I'm so glad you like it. If there's anything wrong, I'd appreciate it if you'd tell me.
Since when are you so interested in my idea of what's right or wrong?
Well, I like to please you, Mr. Martin. After all, I'm working under you.
You know, you don't have to keep harping on that.
Oh, I don't mean it that way at all. Regardless of what I think of you personally, I believe that anybody who works with you and doesn't get a great deal out of it is just dumb.
Just what do you mean, what you think of me personally?
Well, since you've asked, I'd say no matter what can be said against you, I think you're a gentleman.
Well, I try to be.
Mr. Martin, you don't realize what it means to be a working girl. What a girl has to go through in some shops. Well, for instance, when I worked at Booten Brothers and Sons, well, the sons were all right, but the brothers, ugh. And that's why I like it here. You see, when you say, Miss Smith, let's go to the stock room and put some belts on the shelf, you really want me to put belts on the shelf. And that's my idea of a gentleman.
Well, I just don't believe in mixing belts with pleasure. You know, this is the first time you've shown a little sense. Maybe there's hope for you after all.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Oh, I almost forgot. Would it be possible? I mean, Mr. Martin, do you think you could spare me tonight? Then maybe Mr. Matuchek would let me off.
Oh, so that's why I'm a gentleman. That's why you learned so much from me all of a sudden, huh?
I'm sure I don't know what you mean.
You just want to get off early, huh?
I have to, Mr. Martin.
Well, you're out of luck. What a cheap trick that was. And I nearly fell for it, too.
Mr. Martin, I have to get off tonight. It's terribly important.
For 6 months, you've done everything you could to antagonize me, and now you have the nerve to
Well,
come
you
in
haven't
here.
been very nice to me. No matter what I do, it's wrong. If I wrap a package, it's not the right way. If I make a suggestion, and some of them are very good, you don't even listen. Everything has to be done exactly your way, and even then you don't like it. When I came into this place, I was full of life and enthusiasm, and, well, now I'm nothing. You've taken all my personality away. But let me tell you something. Any day now, I may be in a position where I won't have to work anymore. And, Mr. Martin, I'll really tell you then what I think of you. Mr. Martin, I don't like you!
Karen, what's the matter?
Oh, he won't let me off. And I've got to get away early tonight. I've just got to. I have a date. It's the most important thing that has ever happened to me in all my life.
I know. The boy you told me about. What was his name?
That's what makes it so awful. I don't even know his name. I just call him Box 237.
The Whittier Community Theater is a nonprofit volunteer organization that has been serving the Whittier area with entertainment and a creative outlet for 99 years. In 2022, we will celebrate our centennial season, and we hope you will all be able to join us as the stage reopens. In the meantime, you can show your support by following us on Facebook and keep tabs on what's new and exciting at our website, www.whittiercommunitytheater.org, where you can become a member or a donor or both. And for the rest of 2021, any donation of $25 or more entitles you to a copy of the WCT Centennial Calendar as our gift to you for your support. Now, back to our program. It's later the same day. Mr. Matuchek's temperature has risen with each passing hour, for 6 of his employees have asked for the evening off. Now Martin is the unlucky 7, and Mr. Matuchek hits the boiling point.
Do you mean that you want the evening off too, Martin?
Well, yes, Mr. Matuchek.
What is this? Does everybody want to leave? Once a year, I ask you to stay here.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Matuchek. If I'd only known yesterday, I could
I
have
see.
stayed.
You want a special invitation. Next time, I'll send you an engraved announcement.
Mr. Matuchek, this is the first time in years that I've asked a favor. I think you're being unjust.
I'm being unjust. Once a year, I ask 7 ladies and gentlemen. 7, mind you. When next door, a shop twice as big as mine employs only 4, and, well, 7 ladies and gentlemen, I ask one day in a year to be so kind to redecorate a window, and you have the nerve, Mr. Martin, the most senior employee in the place, who should be setting an example.
Mr. Matuchek, you spoke to me like this yesterday. What did I do? The whole week you've treated me like this without any reason at all.
Without any reason? Maybe I have more reason than you think.
Well, it's obvious that you're not satisfied with me.
You can draw your own conclusion.
In that case, there's only one thing to do. Maybe we'd better call it a day.
Maybe we'd better. Miss Baker will see that you get your check.
Thank you.
Mr. Matuchek, there's someone on your private phone.
I'll take it in my office. Mr. Peters.
Yes, Mr. Matuchek?
Tell everyone that they may go home. We'll do the window tomorrow.
Is this the restaurant where you were going to meet her?
Yeah. Go ahead, Peters. Go on in.
Well, why don't you go on in? I really think you should keep your date.
No, I haven't got the heart. Not after what happened today. I was gonna get married. Now I haven't even got a job. Peters, do me a favor and deliver my note, please.
All right.
And look, Peters,
Hmm?
I don't want to know what she looks like. If she's homely, I got enough bad news for one day. If she's lovely, it'll make it so much more difficult, so don't tell me.
Well, I won't. Now, what's the name of that book again?
Anna Karenina, and a red carnation as a bookmark.
Well, wait. Maybe I better look in the window first. You stand over that way, out of sight.
Well, do you see her?
No, not yet. Oh, say, there's a beautiful girl.
Really?
Very beautiful. But no book.
Oh.
There's another girl. But wait a minute. I think I see the book right here under the window. Yes, Anna Karenina by Tolstoy and a carnation.
Go on. Go on.
Oh, I can't see her face. She's sitting behind that rack. Oh, right. There's a cup of coffee on the table. She's taking a piece of cake. Martin, she's dunking.
Well, why shouldn't she?
All right. She's leaning forward now. Martin, she...
Well, can you see her?
Yes, I see her.
Is she pretty?
Very pretty.
Oh, she is, huh?
Yes.
Yeah?
I'd say she has a little of the coloring of Karen.
Karen?
Mm-hmm.
You mean Karen Smith? Miss Smith, in the store.
Now, Martin, you will have to admit that Karen is a good-looking girl, and personally, I've always found her a very likable girl.
Ah, this is a fine time to be talking about Miss Smith.
Well, if you don't like Miss Smith, I can tell you right now, you're not going to like this girl either.
Well, why?
Because it is Miss Smith.
No, it can't be. No, Peters.
Well, look for yourself.
Miss Smith? What? Why, this is terrible. Here, give me that note.
What are you going to do? Let that poor girl wait in there?
Well, why shouldn't Miss Smith wait? For 6 months, she's fought with me every day.
But still, she wrote those letters.
Oh, well, that's my misfortune.
Well, I'm going back to the shop. I've got some things to do. Bye.
Yeah, goodbye, Peters. Hello, Miss Smith.
Huh? Oh, good evening, Mr. Martin.
Quite a coincidence. Well, I had an appointment here. You haven't seen Mr. Peters by any chance, have you?
No, I haven't.
Well, guess I'll wait. Do you mind if I sit down?
Oh, yes. Yes, I do mind.
Well, what's the matter?
Oh, please. Mr. Martin, will you go to some other table? I have an appointment, too.
Oh, really? Well, who are you meeting?
Now, please don't be sarcastic. I realize that you've had a bad day, Mr. Martin, and you probably feel very bitter.
Bitter? By leaving Matuchek and Company? Listen, I could have another job like that.
Oh, well, in that case, there's no use wasting sympathy on you. Good night, Mr. Martin.
Listen, you don't have to feel sorry for me.
Mr. Martin, I said good night. Please.
Well, what are you so nervous about?
I'm not nervous. Do I look nervous?
I should say you do.
Well, I'm not.
Ah. I see you're reading Tolstoy's Anna Karenina, huh?
Yes. Anything against it?
Oh, no. I never expected to see you in a cafe with Tolstoy. I didn't know you went in for high literature.
There are a lot of things you don't know about me, Mr. Martin.
Yes, well, there are a lot of things you don't know about me, Miss Smith. You know, people seldom go to the trouble of scratching the surface of things to find out the inward truth.
Mr. Martin, I wouldn't care to scratch your surface, because I know exactly what I would find. A handbag instead of a heart, a suitcase instead of a soul, and instead of intellect, a cigarette lighter that doesn't work.
Oh, that's very well put. Comparing my intellect with a cigarette lighter that doesn't work is such an interesting mixture of poetry and meanness.
Meanness?
Well, now, don't misunderstand me, Miss Smith. I was just on the verge of paying you a compliment.
Oh, please, Mr. Martin. I told you I was expecting somebody.
Well, that's all right. As soon as he comes, I'll leave.
um, look. Look, Mr. Martin, I'd better warn you. This person is jealous.
Oh.
Very jealous. Yes, and if you insist on staying here, I will not be responsible for anything that may happen. I hope you understand what I mean.
Sure. Listen, just in case your party doesn't show up, would well, if he should stand you up or something.
Oh, don't worry about that. This party will show up.
All right. Is that next table taken? I'll sit over there. Tell me, have you read Zola's Madame Bovary?
Madame Bovary is not by Zola. Will you please go away?
Now, look, Miss Smith.
Oh, what are you trying to do? Ruin my evening? What have I ever done to you? Why do you hate me so?
I don't hate you.
Oh, so I suppose you love me.
Well, no, why should I? What have you ever done to make me love you?
I don't want you to love me.
Well, I don't. You know what that song reminds me of?
Yes, thank you. 2 dozen unsold cigarette boxes.
No, you're wrong again. It reminds me of a girl who was looking for a job. A very nice girl, I thought.
Really? How you've changed.
Let me tell you something else, Miss Smith. You may have beautiful thoughts, but you certainly hide them. So far as your actions are concerned, you're cold and snippy like an old maid, and you have an awfully tough time trying to make any man fall in love with you.
Mr. Martin, you're getting funnier every minute. I could show you a few letters that might open your eyes. No. Maybe not. No, you probably wouldn't understand them. They're written by a man so far above you that it's ridiculous. I have to laugh when I think of you calling me an old maid. You little insignificant clerk.
All right, that does it. Goodbye, Anna Karenina.
Goodbye.
Martin! Wait! Martin!
Peters, what's the matter? What's wrong?
I just went to the shop. They took Mr. Matuchik away in the ambulance.
What?
He tried to commit suicide.
Mr. Matuchek, are you all right?
I think I will be. Oh, sit down, Martin. And I want to thank you for coming.
Oh, no, as soon as I heard.
Martin, do you remember when you were at my house for dinner the last time? I told you that if things go well, I might take it easier and maybe by Christmas make you the manager of the shop. Well, now I have to take it easier. Would you care to work for me again after I...
Mr. Matuchek, don't. Don't even think about it. That's all over.
Is it possible that I ever distrusted you, Martin? I hated you. I couldn't stand your presence anymore. That's how far jealousy can drive a man.
Jealousy? Well, I don't know what you mean.
When I first got that anonymous letter, I laughed at it. My wife having a secret rendezvous with one of my employees. But you can't throw a letter like that away. It stays with you, every word.
But how could you suspect me?
Well, I know now that it was Harvey. But you see, you were the only one from the shop who came to my home. You sent flowers to my wife.
Well, I was only doing it to try to
You don't have to tell me. But if this poison once get in your mind, oh, please try to understand.
Sure, I understand.
Martin, here are the keys to Matuchek and Company.
Thank you. What'll I do about Harvey?
Harvey? I want him very quietly dismissed.
Quietly dismissed. Yes, sir, I'll take care of it, Mr. Matuchek. And stay out. Well, Miss Smith, I suppose you're kind of surprised to see me back, huh?
Well, naturally, I'm glad you have a job again. Congratulations.
Miss Baker tells me you weren't feeling well this morning.
That's all right. Thank you.
You look worn out. Anything go wrong last night?
I tell you, I'm all right. Where's Mr. Matuchek? I want to see him.
Well, he's right here. I'm Mr. Matuchek.
Oh, Mr. Martin, don't make any jokes. Not today. And if you have to pick on me, make it some other time. I want to talk to Mr. Matuchek.
Would it really be so terrible if I were the boss and you had to talk to me?
Will you please stop it? My nerves are at a breaking point. Can't you see I'm sick? I can hardly see straight. The room, everything's turning around.
Martin, I didn't have any chance to say it before. Congratulations.
For what, Mr. Peters?
Well, don't you know? Martin's the manager.
The manager? Oh.
Miss Smith!
She fainted.
Karen Smith has had no further letters from her unknown admirer, Box 237. This misfortune, combined with Martin's appointment as manager, has proved too much for her, so she's taken to her bed with a bad case of nerves. Now she has a visitor, none other than Mr. Martin, alias Box 237.
Good evening, Miss Smith.
Good evening.
I hope you forgive the intrusion. How are you?
I'm all right.
You know, Christmas is coming soon, and we'll all miss a good worker like you, so you better get well. You see, I feel kind of responsible for this whole thing.
You? Oh, no. It wasn't your fault at all. No, there's a much bigger reason, unfortunately.
Miss Smith, don't you think you ought to call a doctor?
No, I don't need a doctor. My trouble is purely psychological, but it's my personal problem and I'll come out of it.
I'm sorry. Well, it's really a shame you have to go through all this. But as long as it's only psychological.
Only psychological, Mr. Martin. Oh, really? It's true we're in the same room, but we are not on the same planet.
Miss Smith, I must admire your way of expressing yourself. You certainly know how to put a man in his planet.
Karen, dear.
Yes, Grandma?
Look, darling, I just sent down to the post office.
Oh, Grandma, tell me, was there a letter?
Here, darling. It's a fat one, too.
Oh, Mr. Martin, it was kind of you to drop in, but I don't want to spoil your evening.
Oh, no. I have lots of time. But go ahead and read your letter.
If you don't mind.
Certainly not.
Oh, I forgot to take care of the messenger boy. Will you excuse me, Mr. Martin?
Certainly.
Oh.
Good news?
Oh, very good news. Mr. Martin, I'm sure I'll be back to the shop tomorrow, and I can promise you I'll sell more goods than ever sold before.
Well, that's fine. Well, my, it's amazing what one little letter can do.
Oh, if I weren't feeling so wonderful right now, I'd be pretty sore at you.
At me? Why?
You really spoiled my date the other night. You see, this gentleman came to the cafe, looked into the window, saw us together, and he misunderstood.
You mean he thought you and I were friends?
He must have. Listen to this. Tell me and be frank, who was that very attractive man? He's just the type women fall for. Now, isn't that marvelous?
Yes. Well, I'm sorry I caused you so much trouble.
Oh, no, I'll straighten that out. Let him be a little jealous. It won't hurt him.
You know, he doesn't seem to be much of a man, though. He's afraid to come to a table because another man is there?
Oh, he was not afraid.
No.
He's just tactful and sensitive.
Oh.
He's not the kind of man who would just sit at a table uninvited. No, you see, it's difficult to explain a man like him to a man like you. Why, where you say black, he says white. Where you say ugly, he says beautiful. And where you say old maid, well, here, listen. Eyes that sparkle with fire and mystery, vivacious, fascinating. Oh, he says I make him think of gypsy music.
Say, he's pretty smart.
Oh, speaking of gypsy music, we're still having trouble selling those Ochichoina boxes, aren't we?
No, that doesn't matter.
Mr. Martin, consider one box definitely sold. I just got an inspiration. I'm going to give it to my friend for Christmas.
Oh, no, no, don't do that.
What?
Oh, you're taking an awful chance. Look, why don't you give him a wallet? Well, I know he'd be crazy about it. And we have those new imported pigskins.
Oh, no, I'm not interested.
Look, I'll make you a special price.
No, I'm sorry.
Well, and another thing, a wallet's not only practical, it's romantic. On one side, he carries your last letter. On the other side, your picture. And when he opens it, he finds you, and that's all the music he wants.
Why, Mr. Martin, you surprise me. That's very well expressed. Oh, yes, I must admit that's very nice.
Well, thank you.
No, just the same. He's going to get the cigarette box.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, my good friends, we have just had our biggest day since 1929.
That's right, Mr. Booker. Yes.
Be very proud. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. When I was in the hospital, I read your little note over and over. I'm glad to know that you missed me and hoped that I would come back home again. You're right. This is my home, and only too seldom one realizes that the people he works with are his real friends. Well, there is no Christmas without a bonus, am I right? And then I want you all to go home and have a very, very Merry Christmas.
Here. Going home, Karen?
No, I've still got to wrap this wallet. Do you like it, Mr. Peters?
Oh, I think it's wonderful. Is this for that gentleman you told me about?
Mm-hmm. I'm meeting him tonight for the first time. Isn't it exciting?
Oh, yes. Yes, I think it might be. Well, Merry Christmas, Karen. And I hope everything turns out just as you wanted.
Thank you. Merry Christmas, Mr. Peters.
Merry Christmas, Martin.
Merry Christmas to you, Peters. Well, Miss Smith, we're just about ready to close.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll be through in a second.
Oh, that's all right. There's no hurry. Oh, present for somebody.
Mm-hmm. I follow your advice after all. It's the wallet.
Oh, fine. Oh, want to see something? Here, look at this. I bought it for a very special friend.
Oh, a locket.
Yeah, with stones in it right there, see?
Oh, say, it's beautiful. I didn't know you had a girlfriend.
Well, no.
No, I never even suspected.
I guess you think it's pretty funny that a girl would like somebody like me.
Oh, now, Mr. Martin, let's not start that over again. It's Christmas, and I'd like to be friends with you. And besides, you're wrong. Do you mind if I tell you something?
No, not at all.
Well, when I started to work here, something very strange happened to me. I got psychologically mixed up.
Oh, you don't say.
Mm-hmm. I found myself looking at you again and again. I just couldn't take my eyes off of you.
Oh, really?
Yes, and all the time I was saying to myself, Karen Smith, what's the matter with you? This Martin's not a particularly attractive man.
Oh.
Oh, I hope you don't mind.
Oh, no. No, not at all.
And now comes the paradox. I caught myself falling for you.
Full. Well, I can't believe that.
Oh, yes, Mr. Martin, in those first few weeks, there were moments in that stockroom when you could have swept me off my feet.
Well, now I'm getting psychologically mixed up.
Well, you see, I was a different girl then. I was very naive. Well, it's all forgotten now. Now you go to your girlfriend and. Oh, by the way, is it serious?
Oh, yes. Yes, very.
We might both be engaged Monday morning.
Yes. I think we will.
I don't want to misunderstand. In my case, I say it just might happen.
Well, as a matter of fact, I can tell you it will happen.
How do you know?
Well, now I might as well tell you, I guess. He came to see me.
Who?
Your fiance.
What?
He came last night. You shouldn't have told him who I am. I sort of spent a very uncomfortable hour. You see, he didn't believe it when you wrote him I meant nothing to you.
I don't understand, but coming to see you? It doesn't sound like him at all.
Oh, well, don't worry about it. I straightened everything out. In a little while, you'll be Mrs. Popkin.
Mrs. Popkin?
Yes, that's his name, isn't it? That's what he told me.
Huh. Oh, yes, yes. Popkin. That's right. Popkin?
Yeah, he's a nice fellow. I congratulate you.
Well, thank you. I think he's a very attractive man, don't you?
Yes. For his type, I would say yes.
Would you really classify him as a definite type?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. And don't you try to change him. Don't you dare put him on a diet.
Oh, you would call him fat?
No. Well, I wouldn't. But well, that's a matter of opinion. Personally, I think that little stomach of his gives him a nice homey quality, and well, that's what you want in a husband, isn't it?
Oh, yes. That's what I want. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, I thought so. And well, and you're right too. If I were a girl and I had to choose between a young, good for nothing with lots of hair and a fine, solid, mature citizen, I think I'd pick Matthias Popkin every time.
Matthias, but he uh, don't you think he has a fine mind? Oh, didn't he impress you as being very witty?
Well, he's struck me as somewhat depressed, but it's unfair to judge a man when he's out of a job.
Out of a job? Why, he never told me.
He never told. Well, that shows how sensitive he is. But you have nothing to worry about. At least he feels you both can live very nicely on your salary.
Did you tell him how much I make?
Well, he's your fiance, and he asked me.
Oh,
And let me tell you something else. Mentioning that bonus didn't do you any harm either.
oh, I can't believe it. I never dreamed he was materialistic. Why, if you read his letters, such ideals, such lofty point of view, oh, this is horrible.
Oh, well, I'm sorry you feel this way. I hate to think I spoiled your Christmas.
I built up such an illusion about him. I thought he was perfect.
Ah, I had to be the one to destroy it.
Well, that's all right. I really ought to thank you.
Karen, if I'd known in the beginning how you really felt about me, things would have been different. We wouldn't have been fighting all the time. If we did, it wouldn't have been over handbags and suitcases, but something like, well, should your grandmother come and live with us or not?
It's very sweet of you to try to cheer me up like this, but I think we better say goodnight. You have an engagement, and so have I, and we shouldn't be late. Good night.
No. Wait a minute, wait. You know what I wish would happen? When your bell rings at 8:30 tonight and you open the door, instead of Popkin, why come in?
Oh, please. You're only making it more difficult.
Then I'd say to you, Karen, darling,
Oh, please don't do this.
dearest,
Don't.
sweetheart
No.
Karen, I
Mr.
can't
Martin,
stand it
stop.
any longer.
You mustn't.
Please get your keys, open box
No.
237,
No.
and take me out of my envelope and
Please.
please kiss me.
What? What did you say? You? Oh.
Dear friend,
Oh.
dear box 237.
Oh.
Yes. Oh, are you disappointed?
Oh no. Well, psychologically, I'm very confused, but personally, I don't feel bad at all. Oh, darling, isn't it a wonderful, wonderful Christmas?
You have been listening to the WCT on the Air production of The Shop Around the Corner, adapted from the Lux radio broadcast originally aired June 23rd, 1941 on the Columbia Broadcasting System and based on the 1937 Hungarian play Parfumerie by Miklos Laszlo. Tonight's broadcast was directed by Roxy Lee, produced by Margie Wan, with technical direction by Suzanne Frederickson. We have featured the talents of Candy Beck, Andy Clark, Richard Vivacaris, Richard Scafidi, Mary Grace Denfinet, and this is your announcer, Phyllis Knopf. On behalf of the entire WCT family, we wish you and yours good night and happy holidays.